Those first 5 seconds, they set your brain's mood for the entire day. When you immediately check notifications, you flood your mind with stress, distractions, and other people's priorities. Instead, sit up, breathe deeply, and speak one positive thing over yourself. This simple act is your mental ignition, priming your brain for focus and clarity. Try it tomorrow and tell me how it feels. Remember, those 5 seconds hold the power to shape your entire day. Protect your focus from the very start. Stop touching your phone the second you wake up. Those first 5 seconds, they set your brain's mood for the entire day. When you immediately check notifications, you flood your mind with stress, distractions, and other people's priorities. Instead, sit up, breathe deeply, and speak one positive thing over yourself. This simple act is your mental ignition, priming your brain for focus and clarity. Try it tomorrow and tell me how it feels. Remember, those 5 seconds hold the power to shape your entire day. Protect your focus from the very start. Let's get one thing straight. Nobody gives a damn about your excuses. Excuses don't build empires, they build regrets. If you want to be a legend, you've got to grind louder than every whiny voice in your head. Outwork every doubter, every hater. Hell, outwork the toughest version of yourself you've ever imagined. While others are sleeping, you're plotting. While they're whining, you're grinding. Every day is a war, so show up armed with raw determination and an unbreakable work ethic. Make your grind too loud to be ignored. Listen up. Your inner doubt isn't a prison. It's the raw material for greatness. Every time that voice whispers you're not good enough, don't cower. Laugh in its face. Doubt is just untapped energy begging to be harnessed. Take every ounce of insecurity and inject it straight into your ambition. Make it your rocket fuel. Legends aren't born feeling invincible. They're forged in the fire of their own uncertainty. Stand tall, own your flaws, and use them as proof you're fearless enough to break limits. Your next level demands.
Have you ever wondered why people went through so much effort to build massive, ornate cathedrals? Imagine living in a time when most buildings were small and simple. These huge cathedrals were meant to inspire awe and unite communities. Their size and beauty made people feel connected to something greater and gave everyone a place to gather for important events. Building them also showed off the skill and creativity of the people who made them. So, giant cathedrals weren't just for meetings. They were symbols of hope, unity, and human achievement. Listen up, champions! You think the world owes you a smooth ride? Newsflash. The universe hands out potholes like candy, and it's got a twisted sense of humor. But here's where legends are forged, right in the furnace of chaos. Every gut punch, every setback, every Monday morning that feels like a cement truck parked on your chest. That's your jet fuel. Most people whine, tap out, and binge-watch their dreams into oblivion. Not you. You're here to rip the steering wheel out of life's hands and drift through the fire like a maniac. When it gets tough, you don't run. You sharpen your teeth, flex your grit, and ask for seconds. You turn every obstacle into a springboard, every insult into another rep, every failure into a war drum pounding your march forward. You're not just built to endure, you're engineered to dominate. So when the world throws bricks, you build launch pads. When doors slam, you kick down walls with a grin. Make adversity your daily pre-workout. Let setbacks light you up like a bonfire that won't quit. Today is the day you stop cowering and start conquering. Get out there and make the universe remember your name, etched in fire and unbreakable.
Listen up, high achievers. This isn't a pep talk, it's a wake-up call. Inside you, there's a beast clawing to break free. A relentless force that laughs in the face of obstacles and chews up excuses for breakfast. The world doesn't care about your dreams unless you're willing to fight for them like a gladiator in the arena. Want to dominate your goals? Stop tiptoeing around your potential like it's a sleeping baby. Smash down the door. Get hungry. Get a little crazy. If your passion doesn't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. When you hit a wall, don't whimper. Run through it, leave a beast-shaped hole, and keep moving forward like a freight train with no brakes. High performers don't ask for permission. They take what's theirs with claws and teeth. Every setback is just fuel for your fire, a spark to ignite your next explosion. Relentless drive means showing up when you're tired, when you're doubted, when your comfort zone screams for you to quit. Winners don't listen to the noise. Winners roar louder. So, are you ready to unleash chaos on your goals, or are you just going to watch from the cheap seats? The beast inside you is waiting. Let it. Let's get brutally honest. Your excuses are clever little liars dressed up as reasons. They whisper, "You're tired. You can start tomorrow. Just take it easy today." But here's the punchline. Tomorrow is a myth cooked up by your comfort zone to keep you stuck. If you want to dominate your inner debate, you have to become relentless, a force that refuses to back down. When that voice tells you to hit snooze, you get up and attack the day. When it says you're not ready, you show up anyway, fully armed with grit. Outlasting excuses isn't about superhuman strength. It's about refusing to negotiate with weakness or settle for less. Tenacity is the art of saying, "I don't care how I feel, I care what I want." You will face resistance. You will face doubt. You will want to quit. But if you can outlast the storm of excuses, you become unstoppable. Your potential isn't buried under a mountain of talent. It's trapped beneath layers of hesitation and fear. Dig through. Outwork your doubts. Outsmart your fears. Outlast your excuses. The only debate worth having is the one you win by refusing to quit. This is your moment. Dominate.
Imagine if every day you made one tiny change, something so small it feels almost effortless. That's the secret behind micro habits. Instead of overhauling your entire routine, focus on adding a single manageable action: 1 glass of water in the morning, 5 minutes of reading, or 1 push-up. Over weeks and months, these small shifts add up, transforming your habits and eventually your results. Success isn't magic, it's simple math. Small actions, multiplied consistently, create massive change. Drop one habit you'll replace this week and start your transformation. What if your biggest failures were actually your greatest assets? Every loss you experience is a progress marker, a sign that you dared to dream bigger and push your limits. When you fail, life hands you a personalized feedback form, showing what needs to change, where to grow, and how to get better. If you never stumble, you're not challenging yourself enough. Playing it safe might feel comfortable, but it keeps you small. So instead of hiding from your failures, celebrate them. They're proof you're moving forward. Comment, "I choose big risks," if you're with. You've heard it 1,000 times. Wake up at 5 a.m. and you'll win the day. But here's the truth. Morning routines don't guarantee success. It's not about when you start, but what you do with your hours. You can rise at dawn, but without a plan. You're just awake, not ahead. Planning gives your day direction, purpose, and real momentum. Use your energy at your peak times and focus on meaningful tasks, not just ticking off boxes. Own your 24 hours with intention, and you'll see results, regardless of when your alarm rings. Agree or disagree? Let's.
Chef Larry spent days planning the perfect dinner party, determined to impress his new in-laws. Every detail was flawless, from the candles to the playlist. But when it came time to serve his famous soup, nerves got the better of him. As he ladled it out, his hands shook so much he dropped his wedding ring right into the pot. Panicked, he tried to fish it out, but the guests were already slurping away. Suddenly, his mother-in-law exclaimed, "Larry, the soup is a bit crunchy." He replied, "That's just my commitment to quality." Larry, the world's most forgetful bank robber, stormed into a bank with a ski mask and a handwritten note. He handed the note to the teller, who squinted and said, "Sir, this says give me all your..." and then it's blank. Larry panicked, fumbled through his pockets and muttered, "Hold on, I know I wrote it down somewhere." After emptying his backpack, out spilled a sandwich, his mom's grocery list, and a Sudoku book. He finally found the note. Triumphantly, he read aloud, "Give me all your... Oh no, I forgot what I was robbing."
Meet Larry, the most forgetful bank robber in town. He spent months planning the perfect heist, blueprints, disguises, even a getaway route. On the big day, Larry storms in, mask on, and yells, "Everyone on the floor, this is He blanks. The teller asks, "A what, sir?" Larry panics, checks his notes, but realizes he left them in the getaway car. Desperate, he shouts, "This is a surprise party." Confetti flies as his nervous partner triggers the wrong bag. Police arrive, and Larry gets arrested, still trying to remember what he was supposed to say.
Have you ever wondered why some living things suddenly change color when they get scared? It all comes down to tiny cells in their skin called chromatophores. These cells can expand or shrink, showing different colors by revealing or hiding pigments. When a threat appears, signals from the brain tell these cells to shift, helping the creature blend into its surroundings or display bright, startling colors. This can either help them hide from danger or warn off anything that might want to bother them. It's like having a built-in superpower for survival.
Have you ever wondered how your phone gets a message from someone miles away without any wires? Imagine you're at a party and you want to share a secret with a friend across the room. Instead of shouting, you use a flashlight to blink a pattern only your friend understands. Wireless messages work a bit like that, but instead of flashes of light, they use invisible waves, like ripples in a pond. Devices send these waves through the air, carrying information in special patterns. Your phone acts like a translator, catching the waves and turning them back into messages you can.
Stop waiting for a spark. You are the spark. While others tiptoe through life, terrified of making noise, you were born to roar. Too many people let their drive flicker out at the first sign of resistance. But you turn obstacles into fuel. When the world tries to water you down, you turn up the heat until every excuse evaporates. This isn't about some feel-good inspiration. This is about grabbing the wheel and steering your life into uncharted territory with ruthless intent. Most people beg for comfort. You were built for the burn. Don't just wake up, erupt. Let your actions scorch a path so bright that others need sunglasses just to watch you work. The doubters, the naysayers, the ones who can't see your vision, leave them in the ashes. Forge ahead with relentless force. When exhaustion knocks, answer with another round. When fear whispers, laugh back. You're not here to fizzle out. You're here to blaze so fiercely that mediocrity can't survive in your shadow. Stoke your inner inferno, and never let it die. This is your time.
Ever notice how motivation shows up like a sugar rush? Exciting, sweet, but gone in minutes? That's because motivation depends entirely on mood, and moods are fleeting, unpredictable, and unreliable. Discipline, however, is like a muscle. It's built through consistent repetition, strengthened by daily routine, and it doesn't care how you feel in the moment. When your alarm rings before dawn or your energy crashes after a long day, motivation whispers excuses and reasons to quit. Discipline, on the other hand, drags you out of bed, gets your shoes on, and puts you in motion regardless of how you feel. It's the silent engine behind every achievement, powering you when inspiration is nowhere to be found. If you want results that last, stop waiting for the right mood or a burst of motivation. Instead, start building habits, set fixed routines, and show up even when you'd rather quit. Each act of discipline adds another layer of strength and resilience. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. The days you least want to work are often the days you grow the most. Save this for a low-energy day. Let it remind you that discipline, not motivation, is what truly turns dreams into reality. Have you ever wondered why everyone starts clapping after a performance? Clapping is actually our way of showing appreciation and approval. When you see someone sing, dance, or act, your brain recognizes their effort and skill, and you want to let them know you enjoyed it. But why do we use our hands for this? Clapping is loud, simple, and easy for groups to do together, making it a
lapa, baby, come on, me no offer. Need no answer. Body only saying to me, you're.
Listen up, wild ones. The world worships order, but it's chaos that forges legends. Stop scrubbing away your quirks to fit some bland mold. You're not a puzzle piece, you're dynamite. Light that fuse. When life serves you a mess, don't sweep it under the rug. Surf it like a maniac. Your so-called flaws are rocket fuel, not baggage. Own your madness, wear it like armor, and let it launch you where others fear to go. The universe doesn't reward the tame. It crowns the misfits who dare to dance in the storm. So, embrace your chaos and watch the world try to catch.
Detective Sprinkles was called to the bakery after the world's most delicious donut vanished. He questioned the baker, dusted powdered sugar for prints, and interrogated a suspicious-looking eclair. All clues led to one thing: a trail of rainbow sprinkles leading to the janitor's closet. Sprinkles burst in dramatically, only to find his own reflection in the mirror, mouth covered in frosting. Turns out, in his excitement to solve the case, he'd eaten the evidence during his first sweep. The case of the disappearing donut? Closed and delicious. Imagine starting your day with total clarity. Instead of a never-ending to-do list, choose just 3 goals that will truly move you forward. Write them down as soon as you wake up. These aren't random tasks, they're your top priorities. When you focus on only 3, you channel your energy where it matters most and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Attack each goal with intensity. As you check them off, you'll feel accomplished and motivated to keep going. This one morning habit can shift your entire day. Comment your 3 for tomorrow. Your friends are keeping you broke. Think about it. If everyone around you is comfortable just getting by, settling for average, or avoiding risk, you'll never feel the pressure to grow or improve. Your circle sets your standards, whether you realize it or not. If you want to increase your net worth, the first step is to audit your inner circle. Are your friends discussing investments, business ideas, and personal growth? Or are they stuck in repetitive routines, complaining about their jobs, and spending every weekend partying without purpose? When you upgrade your circle, you upgrade your mindset. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better, challenge you to think bigger, and inspire you to take action. Seek out those who are ahead of you financially, who read books, invest wisely, and constantly strive for more. Your environment shapes your habits, and your habits shape your destiny. So if you want to change your financial future, start by changing the company you keep. Tag someone who pushes you high.
Perfect timing is killing your dreams. You might think you're waiting for the stars to align perfectly, but deep down, you're actually waiting for someone to say you're finally ready. Here's the truth. Nobody's coming to give you that permission. The secret is, no one ever feels fully prepared. Not the people you admire, not the ones you think have it all figured out. They started when they were scared, uncertain, and far from perfect. The difference between you and them? They launched before they felt ready. They learned on the fly, adjusted as they went, and built momentum while everyone else was still stuck overthinking. If you keep waiting for everything to be flawless, you'll be trapped in the same place this time next year, or even longer. Progress is messy. Growth happens in the doing, not in the waiting. So start messy, make mistakes, tweak your approach as you go. You'll be shocked at how quickly you find your footing once you're actually moving forward. If you hear me, say it out loud. I'm starting. AI isn't magic. It's just pattern copying. Imagine you want a computer to recognize a cat in a photo. You don't give it a definition like pointy ears, whiskers, tail. Instead, you feed it thousands or even millions of pictures. Some have cats, some don't. Each image is labeled cat or not cat. The AI scans every pixel, comparing millions of tiny details. It starts to notice that cats often have certain shapes, colors, and textures. Over time, the AI builds a complex set of rules. Not ones we'd easily understand, but patterns that consistently show up when there's a cat. When you upload a new photo, the AI checks it against these patterns. If enough match, it says, "That's a cat." It doesn't truly know what a cat is. It's just really good at spotting the clues it's seen before. That's why sometimes it mistakes a dog or a furry pillow for a cat. AI isn't inventing. It's remixing what it's seen, faster and more accurately than any human could. But show it something totally new, like a cat in a funny costume, and it might get confused. That's the secret. AI learns by example, not by understanding.
Have you ever noticed how streetlights seem to know exactly when to turn on as the sun sets? The secret is a tiny device called a light sensor, often placed on top of each streetlight. This sensor acts like an electronic eye, constantly checking how bright it is outside. When the daylight fades and it gets dark enough, the sensor tells the streetlight to switch on. In the morning, when the sun rises and it's bright again, the sensor signals the light to turn off. This way, streetlights automatically keep our streets lit at night and save energy during.
Perfect timing is killing your dreams. You think you're waiting for the stars to align perfectly, but really, you're just stalling. The truth is, there's never a perfect time to start. Waiting for the right moment is just a clever disguise for fear. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. Here's the secret. Nobody is coming to give you permission or to tell you you're ready. You have to give that permission to yourself. The only difference between people who succeed and those who don't is that one group started messy, unprepared, and uncertain. They took the first step before they felt ready. So stop negotiating with your doubts. Stop telling yourself you'll start tomorrow, next week, or when you feel more confident. The only way to build confidence is through action, not overthinking. Start messy, adjust as you go. Every step you take brings clarity, momentum, and growth. If you hear me, say, "I'm starting." Look dead into the lens. Right now, commit to yourself. Today is your launch pad. Your dreams are waiting. Don't let procrastination steal another day from your life. Stop scrolling if you want better grades without burning out. Here's the secret. Set a timer for just 10 minutes and dive into your toughest subject. Why does it work? Because 10 minutes is easy to start, and starting is often the hardest part. Research shows that short daily study sessions help your brain retain information far better than marathon cramming sessions. When you study a little every day, your mind revisits topics more often, building stronger memory connections that last longer. Think about it. 10 minutes a day adds up to over an hour a week, without feeling overwhelming or exhausting. Even on your busiest days, you can spare just 10 minutes. The key is consistency. Over time, these short bursts boost your confidence, reduce anxiety, and make big assignments feel manageable instead of intimidating. Next time you feel lazy or overwhelmed, grab your phone, set a stopwatch, and just start. You'll be surprised how much you accomplish in just 10 minutes. Remember, 10 minutes is always better than 0. Save this video to remind yourself, progress compounds faster than perfection. Stop scrolling. Have you ever felt like you don't belong, even when you've earned your spot? That's imposter syndrome whispering, "You're not good enough." But here's the truth. Imposter syndrome is a master of deception. It feeds off your doubts and magnifies every mistake, convincing you that your achievements are just luck, and that someone will finally expose you as a fraud. The reality is, everyone experiences moments of uncertainty. Yes, even the people you admire most. When your mind echoes, "You don't belong here," recognize it as a lie your fear is telling you. Challenge it by listing your real accomplishments, big or small, and remind yourself of the hard work behind them. Growth comes from stepping outside your comfort zone, not from waiting until you feel 100% ready. The people who belong aren't better. They're just brave enough to keep showing up, even when their minds try to hold them back. Next time your brain says, "You can't," remember, it's just fear talking. Prove it wrong by taking action anyway. Double tap if you've ever surprised yourself by doing just. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see someone you seriously don't vibe with, like your biggest hater, lying there totally wrecked, phone gone, wallet snatched. Everyone else just walks by, pretending they don't see anything, acting like it's not their problem. But then, this random dude, who's supposed to be an enemy to the guy on the ground, stops. He legit bandages him up, calls an Uber, and even pays for his stay at a hotel so he can recover. No questions asked, no drama. That's the Good Samaritan, Gen Z edition. The plot twist? The hero isn't the main character's squad, but the one person you'd never expect to show up. The core message hits different. Kindness doesn't come with a friend filter. It's not about picking and choosing who deserves help or who's in your circle. It's about being a real one, even when no one's watching, especially for people who might not even like you back, or who you don't vibe with. So next time you see someone struggling, don't ghost or scroll past. Slide in and help out. That's what being a good Samaritan is all about. Showing up, no cap, when it matters most. Bananas are hiding a secret you can actually see with your own eyes: their DNA. Here's a wild fact. Every living thing, including bananas, is packed with DNA, the instruction manual of life. But unlike most organisms, you can extract banana DNA right in your kitchen with just a few simple ingredients. Here's how. Grab a ripe banana and mash it up thoroughly in a bowl until it's a smooth pulp. Then add a bit of salt and a splash of dish soap. The salt helps the DNA strands stick together, while the soap breaks apart the cell membranes and nuclear envelopes, releasing the DNA into the solution. Next, carefully pour in some cold rubbing alcohol down the side of the bowl. Because DNA isn't soluble in alcohol, it clumps together and floats to the top in white, stringy strands that you can actually see. This isn't just a fun science experiment. It's proof that DNA isn't some invisible, mysterious code. It's physical stuff, and it's in every bite you take. The strands you see are millions of DNA molecules bundled together, visible to the naked eye. So next time you eat a banana, remember, you're munching on something that carries its own set of instructions. And with a few simple steps, you can actually hold a piece of those instructions in your hand. Science doesn't get much cooler than... Picture a seesaw on the playground. If you push down on one end, the other end rises. Simple, right? That's leverage in action. In business, leverage means using a small amount of effort or resources to achieve a much bigger result. Just like how a light person can lift someone heavier if they sit at the right spot on the seesaw. The key is the pivot point, or the fulcrum. Move it closer to the heavier side, and suddenly, lifting becomes easier and more efficient. In business terms, the fulcrum is your strategy. Maybe you invest a little money in technology that saves hours of work each week, freeing up time for growth. Or you form a partnership that opens a whole new market with minimal extra effort, multiplying your reach. That's leverage, using what you have, smartly and intentionally, to multiply your impact far beyond the initial input. The more precisely you position your efforts and resources, the greater your lift and advantage. So next time you think about business growth, imagine where to place your fulcrum. With the right balance and insight, a small push can move mountains. That's the power of leverage, using smart positioning and strategy to achieve outsized, game-changing results. One rotten potato triggered a global ripple. In 1845, a mysterious blight struck Ireland's potato crops, destroying the main food source for millions. Within a few years, over 1 million people died of hunger and disease, while another 1 million fled their homeland, scattering to America, Britain, and beyond. The Great Famine didn't just devastate Ireland, it reshaped families, forced governments to rethink food security, and shifted populations across continents. One humble vegetable changed empires in the world forever. I once had a job interview on the 42nd floor. As I stepped into the elevator, the CEO, a nervous intern, and a guy holding a pizza joined me. Suddenly, the elevator jolted and stopped. The CEO panicked, the intern started reciting motivational quotes, and the pizza guy offered slices for morale. I tried to impress, so I pitched myself loudly. By the time maintenance arrived, I'd convinced the CEO to hire me, the intern to quit motivational speaking, and the pizza guy to open a restaurant. Turns out the real test was surviving the ride. Ready to transform your mornings? Stand tall and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Then gently exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 times. As you breathe, Feel your mind settle and your body wake up. This simple breathwork helps clear mental fog and sets your intention for the day. Once done, stretch or take a step forward. Your mind is now focused and ready. Save this routine for tomorrow morning and notice how your mindset shifts with just 2 minutes. You're giving up before the magic happens. Science shows most people quit at just 40% of their actual limit. That plateau you hit, it isn't a wall. It's a signal that you're close to real growth. Your mind screams to stop, but your body and potential have so much more to give. Push past the discomfort, because the reward lives in the other 60%. This is where champions are made, where transformation begins. Next time you feel like stopping, remind yourself. Breakthroughs happen right after the urge to quit. Type, "I'll go further," if this is. Ever wonder why some people seem to crush their goals before you've even had your first coffee? It's not luck.